Welcome to the Murakami Museum and Japanese Gardens that includes 200 acres of non-stop beautiful landscapes. Let's go check it out.
We're at the Murakami Museum and Japanese Gardens, right in the heart of the outside of Delray Beach, Florida. And we are on 200 acres, 17 of which are formally manicured. We have 17 distinct period Japanese gardens, and people come here almost as a staycation to really get a taste of Japan. We're completely Japanese authentic. And so when visitors arrive, over the course of the year, there's 2 to 3 changing, rotating exhibitions in our main museum, as well as the 6 distinct period gardens. Our main original Japanese museum is still on our property. In addition, we have our Oki Education Building. We have all the native wildlife that was native to this area from the time of our inception here. We have native Florida bobcat, we have all sorts of wildlife such as the koi in our lakes and the tilapia and all varieties of turtles, and people will spot everything from bunnies to snakes to alligators to otters, so it's a whole wildlife experience. In addition, we have people that come in all sorts of weather, beautiful sunny days like it is right now, to overcast days, to days when it's raining. People enjoy seeing the garden in that type of light. Each weather source is a different form of light on the garden, and people appreciate seeing it in all those different lights as well. The Murakami Museum and Japanese Gardens is truly a little wonder of the Palm Beaches.
So I am the garden curator here at the Murakami Museum and Japanese Gardens, and what that means is I'm responsible for fostering our 16 acres of beautiful Japanese gardens. Japanese gardens historically are a really nice way for people to experience mindfulness and peacefulness and serenity, and I'm responsible for carrying out that vision. As you can see, this is a very highly maintained garden. Things are pruned in a very specific way, but you'll see things like you see here, which is a nice branch pad structure and a cloud layering. This is pretty standard in not only Japanese garden, but also things that people are more familiar with, like bonsai. The difference between that and Japanese gardening is that these are literally in the ground. So although we maintain and control everything, it's man's control over these types of landscapes that really give everybody that feeling of man's presence in the gardens. So we have 6 different historical periods that we go through, beginning with the Shinden Islands and then into our Bamboo Grove, then following through to our Paradise Garden. We have 2 Zen gardens, or Karen Sensui gardens, that people usually associate Japanese gardens with. We have our Late Rock Garden and our Flat Garden, moving into our modern romantic garden, which is the most contemporary, and then back through to our museum, passing Rocky Point. In the center of our property, we have the Yamato-kan, which is our smaller museum, our original museum. We mostly have people that come here and they're trying to escape their busyness of their daily lives and the concrete jungle, if you will. So especially here in South Florida, we're very busy, we're very developed, and this is kind of that peaceful serenity spot that people will come to get their mind away from the busyness of their regular lives, and you can come here and listen with your eyes and hear with your senses and really just enjoy the quiet, the peacefulness, while maybe hearing a bird in the background or the clacking of the blowing bamboo in the wind, a peaceful waterfall, maybe followed by a slight fragrance of a flower that you're walking by. But that's really the true essence of a Japanese garden, is taking that moment that you're here to really enjoy that moment to its fullest. Water is very important in Japanese culture, as we can see in some of their cultural practices like tea ceremony and sukubai, or the purification process. So typically a sukubai is outside a home and it looks like a stone basin with a small piece of bamboo where the folks would then roll up their sleeves and wash their hands and purify themselves before entering either the tea house or someone's residence. So in the Japanese garden, the waterfalls are seen in many different ways, but it adds that layer of kind of refreshment, which is seen in many different forms. It can be seen in a waterfall, or maybe in a babbling creek, or even in our Karen Sensui or our dry gardens. The rocks that are raked often are to signify water in small ponds or things like that.
Well, I will really look at waterfalls in a totally new perspective now.